All right, Sauk Prairie Youth Hockey. Welcome to another episode of Talkin Hockey. We got two others on the line here with us today. Once again, Coach Tim McElhenie is with us. Say hi, Coach Tim.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to chat number 3, I believe.
Yep. And our featured guest today is a Sauk Prairie Youth Hockey alum. Came through our high school program, went on to do a bunch of other great things. So, Luke McElhenie, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Luke. Why don't you briefly describe your hockey background and experience, starting with, coming through our youth hockey association, and then kind of where you ended up and some of the good things that have come out of hockey for you.
Yeah, for sure. So I started out playing at Sauk Prairie. Played up until my second year of sports at Sauk. Then I went and played for the Madison Capitals AAA Association for probably 6 years or something like that. Then came back to Sauk for my last year at Bantam. Played at Sauk for that year, and then 3 years of high school. And then my senior year, I went back to the Capitals for one more year. So then after that, I played for the USHL Madison Capitals team for 2 years, which is an awesome experience. Freshman year, went out to Massachusetts, played 1 year at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. And then after that, decided to transfer to UW-Stevens Point, where I played 3 years and finished on my college career.
Awesome, and we'll get into that a little bit more with the Stevens Point and the Capitals. But starting back younger, looking back at your youth days, I mean, right now we emphasize athleticism, and we want our kids to be doing something other than hockey during the off season. So just kind of curious, what other sports did you play as a youth?
So I played football, soccer, and lacrosse as well. So,
4 sports, yeah.
Yeah. So no, I agree with that. Growing up, I was in everything, and I think that actually really attributed to my hockey skill.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me to my question: is how do those experiences really help you? I think that when you have football and you have lacrosse, right? Certainly very similar to hockey, and I think a lot of lacrosse kids, or rather, a lot of hockey kids play lacrosse. But how do those real 4 sports influence your ability on the ice, and how did it help to have that different athleticism and background?
I think like a lot of it, like hand-eye coordination with like lacrosse and everything. I think that helped a lot. But personally, I think soccer helped with my like foot skills in hockey. Sometimes you get passes in your feet and everything. And I think that actually like really attributed to sometimes making plays when you don't get a tape pass. I think my playing and knocking pucks with my skates and everything. I think that actually helped a lot. And also just like I think just vision too. When you're playing other sports, there's different concepts to them. So then when it brings over to hockey, I think just like the vision and like game awareness kind of helps too.
Yeah, thanks. So what age did you really start focusing on hockey, and when did you realize that hockey is something that I really want to do, and when did you kind of cut out the other sports?
I mean, growing up, hockey was always my favorite, and it was always my number one. But I still did like I never wanted to give up those other sports. I guess I don't know because when I moved to Capitals when I was a squirt, I guess that kind of made me focus more on hockey than the other ones. It always took priority, but I guess kind of in high school is when I really started to focus on hockey, and I knew that was the one I wanted to continue with after college. Or after high school, I mean, yeah.
Awesome. So, you mentioned playing Madison Capitals in the USHL, and what a great experience that was, and that's awesome. I mean, the USHL, that's the top junior program or top junior league that we have here in the U.S. Can you talk about what that experience was like, not only playing in the USHL, but also doing it for the hometown team, the Madison Capitals?
Yeah, it was really special. I got to live at home during juniors, which not many people get to do. So that was really cool. But also just having my family and friends be able to come to every game was pretty special. And also my relationship with the Studer family, with them kind of starting and everything, was really special to me. But I think just growing up in Madison and playing for the Madison Capitals organization growing up, that, it kind of meant more to me, I guess, to, be on that first team and everything like that. So,
Yeah,
Well,
that's a great answer, and that's an awesome experience you had, and I think that's something that you can really look back on and reflect on, and just know that being with Madison throughout that time frame is
yeah.
just something special for you. So that's really neat. Um, so talk about then, after juniors, then you go to college. Talk about the college experience and how different that is. Really, I mean, obviously, well, I don't know if you know, I played juniors as well. So going from juniors to college was certainly a transition. I would say not only in kind of workload but lifestyle as well. So talk about that a little bit for you.
Yeah, for sure. In juniors, all you're doing is you're playing hockey and that's it, right? So, you get to school and you haven't taken classes for, what, 2, 3 years. So it's like, okay, you're trying to get back in the swing of things, and you got stuff going on all day. You have to go classes, workout, practice, and the first month or two, it's like, oh wow, like this is a lot. You really have to work on your time management and prioritize things a lot more, because in juniors you just have practice and workout, and then that's all you have to do. So I think it was kind of a wake up call for me. Um, the first month or two, but then, you kind of get settled into a routine, which is really nice. But I think honestly, uh, playing juniors helped me with school, I think too. I kind of matured 2 years after high school. I think if I would have gone to college, right out of high school, I would have had a little more trouble with the academic side of things. But yeah, no, it was, college was a great experience. It's some of the best 4 years of your life. So
Yeah, that's certainly understandable, and that's a great answer. And I think maturity certainly plays a role in that, and understanding the value of education, and making sure you have a good grasp on that. I think when you get there, it really helps. Um, once you finally get there. But going out through youth hockey and juniors in college, what was the one skill that you consistently worked on throughout your careers? Is there one thing that you really had a primary focus on?
I think for me it was my shot. I don't know. I always liked shooting pucks. I don't know if it's because if I thought that if I had this great shot, that's how I was going to score, score goals. But I think that's the one thing that I enjoyed the most was I just shooting pucks.
yeah, and I think that probably paid off. I know I can certainly remember being up at the rink sometimes in the off season, and you and a couple others be up there shooting pucks. And you can definitely tell when you were shooting. It was a different sound.
Yeah.
So going back to the juniors in the USHL, what's a typical practice looking like at that level?
Yeah. So I mean, USHL and college practices, I mean, they're pretty similar. I guess you start out with some flow drills, getting warmed up. Depending on the day of the week, usually if it was earlier in the week, it'd be longer, some more strenuous practices. But we start with some flow drills, kind of get the hands going, get the feet moving, and then you work into different battle drills. You're working on 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, and then small area games. We did a lot of 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, to get that battle level up. But yeah, it was mostly flow drills, and then battle drills, and then you work on your systems from time to time, power play, penalty kill, forecheck, and all that kind of stuff.
And pretty much the same at the college level then?
Yeah, it was colleges. We had a more structure because I think we, at least with our coach, we knew, okay, on Wednesdays we're doing power play, and Thursdays we're doing forecheck or whatever. So we kind of had a schedule that was really nice. So yeah, it's like Mondays, we start with some flow drills, and Monday would be more of a battle day. First day of the week, kind of get us into it. Monday, Tuesday are the battle days, and then Wednesday, Thursday, we would kind of go away from that and do more systems, like working our forecheck and D zone and power play, stuff like that.
All right. How long are the practices at those levels?
Um, we range anywhere from usually hour to hour and a half. Early on in the season, they're probably more hour 15, hour and a half. But later on in the season, they're around an hour. Body's just kind of tired and you want to save yourself for the weekend. So,
Right. All right.
Talk about a little bit about just that transition in speed from high school to juniors and then juniors to college, and just how eye opening that is for you and everybody, really, right? It's not just you. I think everybody
it,
falls in
it
that same
really
category.
is. I thought the jump from high school to juniors was more difficult than juniors to college. It was just it's like everybody's good, everybody's fast, everybody can play hockey. So it's just the time you have with the puck is just taken away from you like quicker. You don't really have that much time to decide what you're gonna do with the puck. You have to know what you're gonna do before you get it. And the size and strength of everybody is a lot different. Everybody's fast. You can't just on skate everybody like in high school. So I think it was a more eye opening transition for me from high school to juniors, because then juniors to college, you're kind of used to the speed. I mean, you've played it. At least personally for me, I've been playing against the kids I played in college, all through juniors and stuff. So, for me, definitely the bigger jump was from high school to juniors.
All right. What about at that high level there, juniors in college? You're obviously doing more than on ice work. You're putting in a lot of off ice work. So how much of that is expected of you, or how much did you put in? How much off ice time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot's expected of you. I would say like in the off season, I mean, we're expected to work out pretty much 4 or 5 times a week. I would in the summers I would usually skate at least 3 times a week. Work on 5 days a week. Sometimes I'd shoot pucks on my own, stick handle on my own too. And then kind of like during the season, it's not as much because we only work, at least here in Point, we only work out twice a week in season, just to kind of maintain stuff. Maintain your strength and everything. You don't want to wear stuff on too much. So, but in the off season, I think you gotta be doing stuff every day, whether it's you're on the ice, you're lifting, getting stronger, or working on your skills.
How much of that, Luke, is it the organization expecting from you, and how much of that is you trying to ensure that you are getting to where you need to be?
I mean, it's both, obviously. I guess personally for me, um, I don't know. I had that inner drive where I didn't want to be outworked by anybody else, and I wanted to be the best, and come the season, I wanted to be able to contribute as much as I could. So I guess that had a lot to do with it as well, but also from the coaches. You don't want to let anybody down, and they're expecting a certain standard from you. And when they send out a workout plan for the summer, they expect you to at least maybe not follow their workout plan, but they expect you to be doing stuff, and they expect you to stay in shape. And when you get here, come into shape when you come into camp.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Thanks. What about hockey? What about it that makes you love it and drives you to play the game? What
Uh,
is that?
I I don't know. That's a good question, because I think the speed, it's a fast physical game, yet you have to have finesse and skill. So I think it's like the best of both worlds. It's physical, and you have to compete, but yet you still have to have that finesse and soft skill too, which is kind of nice. So it's kind of a best of both worlds. And also one thing like, it's the camaraderie with the team. I think hockey is different than any other sport. I guess the bond and the camaraderie with your team and all the guys on your team. So that was something really special for me too.
All right, fantastic. So at Stevens Point, you guys did something pretty phenomenal, and we haven't really touched on that.
Yep.
Winning a national championship. So I guess, can you talk about that? What that experience was like a little bit, and then also, that it takes a special team to do that, and there's, can you identify any event or circumstance that really bonded that team or brought that team together?
Yeah. Yeah, that was it was definitely a amazing experience, and it's something I'll obviously never forget, and I'll have that for the rest of my life. Especially because we won it at home in Stevens Point in front of our fans, which was just Cinderella story. You couldn't ask for anything more than that. But I think what comes to mind, I think there's two things that come to mind. So the year before, my sophomore year, we lost in the Frozen Four, and during that game we lost 3-0, but we outshot the team 60-20. So we dominated this whole game in the semifinals, and we ended up losing. And I think everybody had that bitter taste that like, wow, like we should have won that game. We should have been in the finals. Like we were on such a roll that we knew we should have won that year, and we kind of like let it slip away. I think then going into my junior year, the year we won, we had a lot of returners from that previous year, and I think everybody had that that feeling of we were there and we kind of let it slip away, where we weren't going to let that happen again. And then the second thing that comes to mind is I think it was our first weekend of the year. We won on Friday night, and then we played Trine, who they're like a new program, who and they're not very well established yet. So we went in and we tied, and we're like, what are we doing? We have all this talent in this room, and we just tied an inferior opponent. And we kind of had a team meeting after that, and I think that was a kind of a turning point in our season where we're like, all right, like we're too good to waste all the talent and not do something special this year.
Yeah, that's I think you'll always have that moment, I think, during that year, or when something like special like that happens, where you kind of look back and say, all right, well, this is the thing that that kind of solidified us on the right track and getting us there. And no offense, but that's awesome for the goalie for a 60 safe shutout as the goalie coach. I'm loving that.
It was crazy. He stood on his head. Like, I give all the credit to him in the world, because I mean we had 22 shots after the first period, and we're like, geez, like we couldn't get anything by him. It was nuts.
That's awesome. All right, so not really necessarily looking for any names or anything, but you've played long enough to see, how many times have you seen somebody who's got the skill and they have all the tools, but there's something that prevents them from getting to that next level, or even consistently playing at that level in which you're at? What was it that kind of prevented that individual or those individuals from being successful?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of think of one up top of my head, and this player had awesome skill. He had everything, and I guess the inner drive and desire to be better for him just wasn't there. I just don't think this player cared that much to get better. I don't know if it just came natural to him to be that good, but I think it was more that inner drive and desire to be the best they could that kind of held him back.
And I assume that drove your coach crazy, knowing that they had the ability and they weren't, whether it was applying themselves or taking advantage of being where they were.
All right, Luke. I really appreciate the time. We're going to move into our lightning round here. So we got a few quick hitter questions here. So we might have already answered it, but overall, favorite hockey moment?
Yeah, I got to go with winning the national championship. Yeah, that was it. Still to this day doesn't feel real. I guess the season we had, not losing the game and winning it in front of our home fans who, the communities and student support at Stevens Point is, I think, unmatched. We sell out pretty much every game, and just to be able to win in front of our fans was something really special.
Yeah, that had to be awesome.
All right, we're gonna have to dig in your memory bank here. Favorite moment while being a Sauk Prairie Flyer?
Yeah,
Do you
so
have one?
I've been trying to think about this one because it's been a while, but there's the one like very descriptive memory I have was, I think it was my first trip to state, like the game to go into state. I think we were playing Middleton, and we scored with 19 seconds left in the third period to beat Middleton to go to like my first trip to state. So I think that's one of my more descriptive memories I have. So I think I'm gonna have to go with that one.
Awesome. Taking down Middleton to go to in play downs for a trip to state. Nice. As you look at your career, what's been the single best piece of hockey advice that you've received? Something that's really stuck with you.
Yeah, so I think when I was younger, my dad would always say, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Because growing up, I was kind of a younger or smaller player. So I guess that just kind of stuck with me. You don't got to be the biggest, the fastest player. It's just how much you want it and how much you want to succeed.
Nice. What about who's the best player you've shared the ice with?
I'd have to say Austin Matthews. I played against him when he played for the USA under-18 team, and that was pretty pretty eye-opening to see how good he was back then. So
Nice.
yeah.
So, kind of last question here. What's next for Luke McElhenie?
So college graduation's coming up. So I'm done with school now. I guess I'm announcing my official retirement on this interview. So I'm done playing hockey. And then I'm starting a job early June. So starting the next chapter of my life.
All right, phenomenal. I know we talked a little bit offline first. That job's up in Point.
Yep.
But if you ever find yourself back in this area, living back in this area, and you decide you want to get back into it, especially in the coaching ranks, we would love to have you at Sauk Prairie Youth Hockey.
No, that's definitely something, I've kind of considered coaching and everything. But I'll definitely be around, and hopefully I'll, be able to provide for the association someday.
All right, awesome, Luke. Really appreciate the time. Thank you for doing this. Tim, you got any other closing remarks here?
No, I just want to say, congratulations, Luke, on really a successful career. There aren't too many that get to kind of go down the path that you went, and it's great to see somebody local have some good success. And congratulations on the championship, and good luck in your job going forward.
Yeah, thank you guys very much.
All right, thanks, Luke.
Yeah, thanks.